The Tartan Army party for Euro 2024 starts here. I think when the group stage was drawn, we all knew we were going to get beat off of Germany, but everyone's kind of plans or designs for how does Scotland get out of the group, almost everyone would have said, well, if you get a draw against the Swiss and then you can beat Hungary and finish on 4 points, that's as good as it's going to be. And as far as I make it, we lost against Germany, job done. We got the draw against Switzerland, job done. We're coming into match day 3 and we are firmly bang on track. The plan is... The plan is in action. In the video today, we're going to be looking at the good, the bad, the ugly from Scotland versus Switzerland, the point we got, the improvement we've made since the Germany game, and ultimately, what do we have going into the Hungary match. At any point in the video today, if you do laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this as we fly through the Euros this summer, as well as all the stuff that's happening throughout the summer transfer window as we prepare for the 24-25 season. And yeah, let's just get stuck straight into it. Now, I certainly wasn't alone. I think everyone in the Tartan Army was crying out for Gilmour to come into this team and really give the midfield an extra level of vigour and add another dynamic into how we're going to build out, how we're going to transition, how we're going to find our route to go in this game. And without a shadow of a doubt, he has made the biggest difference in the performance that we've seen from the Germany game into the Switzerland match. Because Gilmour, along with Callum McGregor, when they've played together for Scotland, they strike up a lovely partnership. But what he's exceptionally better at than McGregor certainly is kind of guarding the centre ground here in front of the defence. And, you know, like both players are very good at being very sensible in possession, being very clinical in possession and not making very many, if any, kind of errors when it comes to just making sure we're being tidy in possession, or if there is space to break into, he's able to play that pass and help the runner that's coming into space here. So allowing him to come into this team, I think, you know, gave us a great kind of shield in front of the defence, as well as a deep line playmaker that we didn't have against Germany whatsoever, because McGregor, very similar to the Germany game, like in this game here, wants to have a bit more freedom to go around where the ball is and be in the faces of the opposition. And like we see for the goal, which we'll come to in a second, get up both sides of the pitch. When we were defending, McGregor was still kind of dropping into some of these pockets in between the defence. But when you also have this player here covering this types of space, you don't get the situation like we got with Florian Wirtz in match day 1, for example. Now, I do know how Switzerland got their goal, and we'll come to that in a second, because it wasn't really down to the positioning of the midfield necessarily, or their ability to break out and then run into space further on and beyond in this game, because it was really from this base here is what allowed McGinn to be extra high in this game. It did feel like John McGinn was essentially up front, just on, especially as the game went on, it felt like him and Fabian Schär had this kind of duel on the go, but McGinn was pressed right high up, and that gave us the ability to, you know, it kind of was like we had two up front with the way Adams was positioned as well. And I feel that, like, really this base that we've been given here in front of the back three, which I think Hendry moving over to this side here with Hanley and Tierney, like, it was as good as it could be. It was probably better than what it was with Porteous. I know obviously get the red card and whatever against Germany, but it did feel like defensively we were just a bit tighter. Everyone in their 1v1s, you know, just felt a bit more capable, felt a bit more competent in their ability to, you know, keep the opposition out, because Vargas and Ndoye, who were basically the forwards here. And Ndoye's more of a kind of, you know, wide wing-back type guy traditionally, but he was essentially up front with Vargas running into these little pockets of space, trying to run in between the channels, similar to the way Germany tried to do. And I really do feel that to a man, the back three really did stand up and, you know, follow the correct men into space, keep tight in their faces, and like I say, they were all very good in their 1v1s. And I just feel that this kind of setup that we'd created with Gilmour and McGregor was the real kind of difference maker to allow all of that to happen. Because against Germany in midfield, it really did feel like we were absent. It did feel like we were a man down. It felt like McTominay was just nowhere to be seen. McGinn was nowhere to be seen. And then subsequently, when Germany were trying to build up and play out through the back, again, our midfield were just all over the place, and you know, there was just no good protection on the ground, and it just meant we were very easy to get switches of play on against and create openings, which is why Germany absolutely slaughtered us. But also, you know, we had Granit Xhaka doing the kind of, trying to do the Toni Kroos kind of job for Switzerland, which he normally does really well. But McTominay been in this kind of you know, definitely more advanced position than you would normally see him in like the Premier League or whatever, but what is quite normal for Scotland. On this side of the pitch here, he was just so close to Xhaka that if he was getting on the ball, Xhaka had a worthy combatant in this game where he really didn't have an easy time of it at all. Maybe that's a bit more of a testament to the quality of Toni Kroos, but like I said in the breakdown video for that, like I really do feel that the guys just shat it from Kroos and gave him the time and space, because Xhaka was still trying to pick up the same kind of pockets. Ricky Rodriguez isn't too bad either at playing some balls, and he was a bit of a threat in on himself. And I do feel that McTominay, along with McGinn and Adams, really excelled in this match as well, and really gave us a different level of performance than what we've seen against Germany. And really from the word go, you could really feel there was a lot more deliberate application from Scotland. You know, we're never going to be a team that is going to get 80% possession and, you know, have 40 shots on target and all that kind of thing. Scotland are going to rely on being good at set pieces defensively and offensively. And like we've mentioned in the previews and the breakdown videos on the channel, our main route to goal is a quick counter-attack within a couple of passes, turning the ball over, running into space, and have effective players in effective positions to, you know, make the most of any opportunities that come. And the goal that we got in this game was an absolute textbook version of what we've come to see. You know, Switzerland are up for a corner, the ball gets cleared out, and Billy Gilmour has done great to take the ball down on the chest and then play the ball into Andy Robertson. And I think there's a lot of Scotland players that could have done the same thing there, right? But what I think makes Billy Gilmour the right person for that to fall to at that moment in time is so many players would have played just a little bit safer and played the way they're facing. And if, as you can see here, when he's bringing this ball down here, of course, we all want him to play him into Robbo like he does into space, but I think the likes of McGregor, maybe even McTominay or whatever, might have just played this ball safely back to who is McTominay in this picture here, or even McGregor, if McGregor was to float a wee bit closer to where the referee is in this image, just off the man. I think that might be Shaqiri, just off his blind spot. And from there, the same kind of action might happen. But when it comes to quick counterattacks and quick transitions, the least amount of passes, the better. The forward passes, the passes to the runners, the quicker the better. And with the way he sets off Robertson, straight away we've got a great counterattack. One pass completed, McGinn's on the front foot, we know McGregor's on the front foot, and if you look down at the back of this image here, Shea Adams is coming from a really deep position along with McTominay, and these guys are going to have to do well to break their neck to keep up with play and try and give Switzerland as many problems, as many different players to mark that might then go unmarked. You know, counterattacking with two guys needs to be super clinical, needs to be super effective, but counterattacking with more people just stacks the odds in your favour, and that's the way we like to do it. Even Billy Gilmour is keeping up with the counterattack. We are breaking on Switzerland from a corner with 6 players, and everyone kind of knows what we're looking to do here. We're looking to get the ball as deep into the box as possible to give players the opportunity to get in on the edge of the box, as well as have somebody get to the back post and cover all the different positions of maximum opportunity, so that within one more pass, hopefully, we can get that shot on target. Now, there's a bit of an argument that maybe we would have been a bit more clinical to try and find McGinn in between the centre-backs here, and maybe we're getting a shot on goal there. Maybe McGinn can score with a bit more ease, but again, Robertson could be on for a cutback here as well by playing McGregor in, and we've still got Adams running in late, and Robertson and the rest of the guys probably don't know, but Gilmour and McTominay coming. But again, this is the sort of thing that's practice, it's rehearsed and training for them. And then we find ourselves all set up. Switzerland probably feel quite good about themselves that they've got no less than 6 players back in their box in very good defensive positions, by the way. So it's a good pick out for McGregor, not getting the nosebleeds, not panicking, you know, when you get up to the sharp end of the pitch here. He takes a step, cuts it back, and McTominay gets out. In Scotland, we all get a little bit of luck on this deflection, which is going to go down as a McTominay own goal to opening the scoring for us. And that's the kind of slither of luck that really you do need in competition football. When I said in the breakdown to the Germany game, like we have been the worst team, or maybe in the preview to this game, but we have been the worst team of match day 1 by a long way. Albania, Slovenia, Slovakia, so many of these other nations that you're surprised are qualifying for this tournament because it is so big, have really gave a great account of themselves. And yeah, there's been slices of luck and fortune, there's been some utter class as well, don't get me wrong, but we needed that little bit of luck just to get us in front in the game, because, you know, this game was super tight. You know, Switzerland had a few goals chopped off for offside and that kind of thing, and we did create some more chances quite similar to this that ultimately weren't scored. But this was a game of very, very fine margins, and really, I did say in the intro, we'll talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I do feel that Anthony Ralston's performance really does encapsulate all 3 of these things. Now, to be fair to Ralston, this is, you know, playing a blind pass, especially like across the face of goal, essentially, is beyond reckless. It really, really is. I think everyone sees this error as soon as it happens, and I think Steve Clarke summed up pretty well that if it falls to anyone but Shaqiri, it's probably not going to be a goal, because this is utter class from the wee man, the Alpine Messi, scoring again at the Euros, which I think is the 4th in a row. He scored at 3 World Cups in a row as well. But to be fair to him, where everyone is set up, that this ball really shouldn't be, Shaqiri shouldn't be getting there first. He really shouldn't now. It's not a great pass back. It's not very favourable to either Hanley or Hendry, don't get me wrong, or particularly Tierney for that matter. But again, Shaqiri is in an offside position at the beginning of this, and he's right out of frame. But Robbo, Tierney, these guys are all on their heels. No one's really even aware that he's there. And when that ball does come in, his reflexes are what gets there. He's not got lightning pace. His technical ability to take the ball first time is obviously what makes the goal happen. But, Ralston obviously is carrying the can for it. It's his error led to goal. No two ways about it. But I don't think, any of the criticism that's coming towards him is, totally just in that regard, because, 99 times out of 100, playing that ball back is safe possession. The goalkeeper gets there first, one of your pals gets it, and it's a non-event. So very, very fine margins, and that probably balances out in the football karmatic terms, karma style, for the disallowed goals that they had, because Switzerland were good at this. They were good in this match, and it was a very even encounter. No team really got the better of the other. It was a very good joust the whole way through the match. But Switzerland were quite a favourable team for Scotland to play against, because although that they are quite similar to Germany in terms of style and maybe some of the profiles of players that they've got within their ranks, but outside of Ndoye and Vargas, there wasn't really that much blistering pace in the team until the second half came along and Shaqiri came off for Mbolo, which also coincided with the substitution of Tierney coming off injured for Scott McKenna. And I feel really bad for Kieran Tierney, because it just doesn't feel like he can play 2 games a week really at this stage. He's still clearly an elite defender, still very, very good at the game, at left centre back and at left back. But from what I've seen of him at Real Sociedad this year and now for Scotland, as soon as the pressure and the intensity of matches gets too dense, there's too many of those games coming thick and fast, he's going to get injured somehow. So I feel really bad for him. It seems certainly he's going to miss the Hungary game. I don't know if his tournament is written off. I would be very surprised if it wasn't, just looking at his reaction to what's probably a pulled hamstring or something like that. But when Mbolo came on, and still having Ndoye and Vargas on the pitch, this was a totally different Switzerland for the final sections of it. And we really had to be good at defending. We had to be really, calm and composed, stick to the job, don't let things get away. And obviously we did have a little bit of fortune and luck with the offside. And Mbolo's goal was fantastic, and he is offside by his head and half a shoulder. There's not much in it at all. Very, very fine lines on that one. But that was a real problem. That was a real question. In our defence at this point, Hendry, Hanley and McKenna are all kind of the same defender in a roundabout way. And having someone like Mbolo, who's powerful, who's big, who can run for days, was just a bit of a handful for us towards the end of the match. And I do feel that if we'd played against a team at that tempo the whole match, we might have had a few more problems in this, and it might have, a few of these slender decisions that went for us might have went against us. Don't get me wrong, Hanley, Hendry, even McKenna when he came on, Robbo at all areas of the pitch, all had a pretty solid game from front to back. And Ralston, although he's responsible for the ugly part of this match, he really did just kick on from there. And Ralston is a really strong 5, 6 out of 10 kind of guy. He's not going to be mugged off in a 1v1 or anything like that. He's very strong. He'll stand up. He'll make the right decision most of the time. But like we've seen in attack, he doesn't really have anything in his arsenal. He is just more of a guy that will do the job and won't give anything away, except for the back pass, of course, in this situation. But I mean, shoulder to shoulder with someone and, fighting on the touchline and putting your body in where it hurts. And he continued to do that throughout the match. And I think that did give, a nice kind of energy into the defence as well, and we really got that from all the guys individually, which is good to see. And maybe going forward, having Hendry, Hanley and McKenna, having 3 guys that are kind of the same, just gives the team maybe a bit more, some decisions are made for you in some regard. You're not going to get Tierney maybe covering a bit of space and maybe offering something like we thought we might have seen in this game. And maybe he does threaten the opposition with. They kind of know McKenna isn't going to have that in his locker. And it would be remiss of me not to mention Shea Adams, because coming into this game, Adam kind of written off as being injured or unfit or something like that, because he was so bad against Germany. It was an empty jersey, and he came off at half time. And I'm sure there was some reports on him not being totally fit coming into the tournament, if memory serves me well, as I speak to you today. But I just honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised at all if he didn't feature in this match. But he really did turn up in a big way. He really left everything out there on the pitch, and he was unlucky not to get a goal at the back post. I think that was in the first half, and it was good to see that against the likes of Akanji, Rodriguez, and even Shar, if he ever was coming up on this side of the pitch as well, that he did give a really good, solid account of himself. He's got a bit of pace. He's not lightning quick as we know, but he's quite strong. And again, when it comes to passing, he really makes good decisions for the build up when we've got these kind of McGinn and McTominay up in support. So I thought I would give Adams a wee mention. We've seen Shankland obviously at the very end, and unfortunately for him, I don't think he really got much of a sniff to try and make anything count. But I think Adams, to say, would be remiss of me not to mention him in perhaps the good of this team, for example, because the ugly, definitely Ralston. The good was probably everyone. There was just a lot more deliberate application of what the style of play is, what the job is. And like Robbo, for us, 100% has got to be one of the key players that we've got. McGinn did turn up in this game, don't get me wrong, but without Robbo, I really do feel that we would be markedly worse, because he is like a genuine attacking outlet for us, running down that left-hand side where everyone knows that he's not going to make a horrible mistake in his delivery. If we do get people in the box, you back him 100% to put a good ball in, and it's just about them beating their man or being in the right space to try and get something on the end of it. So, big shout out for Robbo again in this game, Captain Scotland that he is. Angus Gunn as well came up with some good saves in this one after some criticism against Germany. But now that we're back on track, we've got our 1 point after 2 games that we thought we would be getting, and it is really now we expect Germany to probably beat Switzerland. But with Germany now qualified on 6 points, there is that kind of part of you that wonders, does Germany rotate a little bit against Switzerland? Do they maybe just beat them by a goal? Maybe they even draw the match and just secure Germany on 7 points, Switzerland on 5. And in any case, 3rd position looks like our best chance of qualifying. Now, if you're not up to speed, there's going to be 6 teams that finish 3rd, and it's the top 4. So basically the 2 worst don't go through. So we need to watch out for what we need to watch out for, because right now we're sitting on a goal difference of -4. That Germany defeat is one of the biggest defeats in the tournament. It's not the biggest, just had to double check there. And it really does maybe handicap us against getting into the top 4 of the 3rd best teams. If we look at Group B, Croatia are on a -3 goal difference at the moment, but they have everything to do to even get into 3rd ahead of Albania. So I wouldn't be banking on the Croatians losing much goal difference over their final game. And the England group are still 2 games to go, so it is really hard to kind of forecast here. But again, you can see this group being very low scoring and the goal differences being really no greater than -2. But Group D is one of the first groups that gives us a bit of hope, because both Poland and Austria are on -1 at the moment, and they've both got one of the bigger teams to play in the group again. And with this group being quite wide open, France and Holland will both want to finish his top spot, then you can kind of maybe cross your fingers that whoever does finish 3rd in this group could end up with a goal difference of maybe -2, -3, -4, depending on, how everything does shake out. In Group E, it's maybe hard to imagine how this group will shake out, currently seeing Belgium in 3rd on 0 points, -1 goal, and Ukraine on 0 points, -3 after 1 game played. Again, there's a wee bit too much still in this group to be played, but I think our best hope is like Ukraine finishing in 3rd somehow with some sort of dodgy goal difference. But where I think we have some clear hope already is Group F. Now, I know there's only 1 game played, but between the Czech Republic and Georgia, you really can maybe cross your fingers over the next 2 games that whoever does finish 3rd in this group could be worse than 4 points. And if they were to get 4 points, could be worse than the goal difference that we have. Because currently, with our goal difference on -4, we're going in to play Hungary next, okay? We're expecting we're going to win. Now, if you get a win, you're going to come out with a positive goal difference. Sorry if I had to spell that out for anyone. But if we only beat them by 1 goal, our goal difference reduces to -3. I think you really, to have any degree of where the goal difference isn't going to hurt us, I think we really need to beat Hungary by 2 goals. We need to beat them 3-1, 2-0, something like that, to finish on a goal difference of -2. And then we're probably in a good spot to be on 4 points, -2 goal difference, and maybe qualify. Because I think the 3rd place might be quite tight, looking at how some of these groups are shaking out, like we've already seen with Croatia, Belgium, and a few other bits and bobs. But having watched Hungary so far in this tournament, I think the style of play, the energy they're going to bring into this game is going to be far similar to, maybe not quite to the level that either Switzerland or Germany have, but certainly the energy that we got from Germany in the opening 10 minutes and the energy that we got from Switzerland when Mbolo came on is this same sort of animal we're going to be facing when it comes to Hungary. And, you know, they're going to feel scorned at the moment. They're on 0 points. If they were to beat us, they would jump over us, obviously, into third place, and then they can cross their fingers on goal difference and all that other stuff as well. So they're coming into this game in cup final mode. We'll be coming into this game in cup final mode. And, you know, with the back three that we're going to have of Hendry, Hanley and McKenna, against a front three that will be looking to zip balls in between the channels and really ask us a lot more of these high energy questions 1v1. This is going to be a game where it is going to be really everyone has to bring their A game. I don't think we've got any room for manoeuvre in terms of the best 11, in terms of the team that we're going to start with. I think it'll be the exact same team that started this Switzerland match here. But everyone, there can't be any taking Hungary for granted. I don't think anyone was taking Germany for granted, but it did feel that, you know, the fanfare, the atmosphere, everything gave the Scotland team this weird kind of aura in the game, you know, and it really became a non-event. It really became deer in the headlights, like we said in the breakdown. Whereas with this game, you know, there was a bit of retribution. There was a wee bit of reputations to be saved coming into this game. And now that it is back on track, we expected to lose against Germany. We expected to not get beat off Switzerland. Can we draw against them if we're going to qualify from the group? So then the final game, we can take on the Hungarians, get the win, hopefully, and, you know, go on and qualify. And I don't think there's any room for manoeuvre with us. But what we need to see is this same Scotland that turned up against Switzerland that looked more like us, and, you know, try and get the same style of play, the same kind of energy that we brought into this match. Because I do think that man for man, position for position, like, we are a better team than Hungary. I know they've been on a fantastic run and all the rest of it, and they do have Dominic Szoboszlai, who, again, maybe similar to Shaqiri, is a player that we don't have, like an X-factor player, a guy that can just create something out of nothing, that can bang a free kick in from 30 yards or something like that. But what we maybe have coming into this game that we've not had as much, and this really did baffle me in the Switzerland game, was McTominay taking set pieces. Because if we can get corners, especially against Hungary in the final game here, and we can put Hendry, Hanley, McKenna, McTominay, obviously Adams will be in the box, you get Robbo to take it. You know, like, we could really have, you know, land a giant situation flooding into the box. And I really do feel that set pieces should be something that we're hyper-focused on for this game, because it is going to be cup final mentality for this one. We do want to have counter-attacks. We do want to score from open play. Of course, we want to see this kind of thing. But I think it would be negligent for us not to be packing the box with the giants that we can. Have Robbo take the corners, get Gilmour to take the corners, whatever, I don't care. But get McTominay in the box, get these three big centre-backs in the box, and, you know, let's make that count for something against Hungary. I hope you've enjoyed this one, guys. I think it was a great game for Scotland overall, where we can really be proud of the effort that we've put into this game, and we can maybe start to forget about the Munich massacre as we look forward to playing Hungary in match day 3, and what should be, hopefully, a victory for Scotland, and what could see us for the first time ever qualify from the group. And what that would mean is that we've came into the group with a plan or an idea of how we're going to qualify, and then action it. And, you know, at that point, who knows what could happen? You dare to dream. On screen now, some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more content like this. And get into the comment section and let me know, what does Scotland need to do to qualify from the group, in your opinion? Are we at the mercy of results elsewhere, or can we go out and smash Hungary, get the win, and fix the goal difference? Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one.